Good morning. It is Monday. Today I don't usually do a class, but my course I'm taking right now has given us an integration week. So I get to do a yoga class today. Um, I will slowly be adding in some more. I'm just trying to wrap my head around schedule these days. Everything, as you can imagine, when we are setting our own schedule, doing many things all at once, um, schedules can shift. And so I am trying to find some grounding while I set my own schedule around the things that keep shifting. Anyway, that really should be my theme of the week. I have another theme. Make your way to your mat. You will be starting seated. And yeah, as always, there's a playlist for your listening enjoyment, and I hope you enjoy. As always, if you have any props, please gather them around. So blocks and straps and cushions and blankets, anything that helps to pad your knees. For example, when you're in a lunge, that helps to bring the floor up when you're in forward folds, that helps to bring your heart forward, keeping the shoulders back in seated poses. Those are some options. As always, we make sure we set the initial intention of meeting our bodies where they're at. So we want to make sure that we're listening to our body's messages and that we are moving within our range of motion. And not only is this unique to a person, but it's unique to a day within a person. It's unique to an hour. Uh, we will move differently in the morning versus in the afternoon versus in the evening. There's so many factors that can change the way our body's moving and the way our body feels while moving. Food that we've eaten so far or not eaten, emotions, time of day, kind of sleep you had. So be kind to yourself and really use this as a conversation. It's a door that swings two ways. So you're giving some information to your body through the class, but you also have to be open to receive the information that your body is giving you. So I hope you have a wonderful class and that you take breaks as needed and also challenge yourself as needed. Once you get to your tall seat, you roll the shoulders back and down. You place the hands somewhere comfortable and you close your eyes. We start to come to our breath. You start to breathe naturally and watch the breath. Watch how the breath breathes you. Now, how do we get into our bodies? How do we get into the moment? Is that not the big question? On our mats, what we do, and this is always something that we can bring out into life as well, is we start to tap into sensation. I find it a little easier for the human mind to find something to focus on. And if that something is free from judgment and stories, if that something is free from to-do lists, plans, memories, worries, and that's one way to get out of the past and the future and into the present. So the five senses, tangible, real-time information to watch, touch. What does the air feel like on your skin? Tuning into the sensation of being seated on the earth. Sight, even with the eyes closed, you can tap into the quality, the brightness of the light that shines behind our eyelids. Sound. Start noticing the ambient sounds in your room, the sounds of music, or distant sounds from beyond your house. Maybe there's even smells or tastes still in your mouth. Smell of breakfast, or if you're on the East Coast, lunch. And just watch how the mental body, the emotional body, can kind of drop into the background. We'll never get rid of these completely. The thoughts will keep thinking. The emotions will keep feeling. We're human. But can we escape from getting drawn in into spirals, into loops, into either projecting forward or always pulled back? My theme this week is presence. And it's one of those typical yogi themes. But it's kind of framed by this weekend's full moon. It was a full moon in Taurus while the sun is in Scorpio. So when that usually happens, we've got Scorpio that really asks us to dig deep, get uncomfortable, look at our past, look beyond the grave, look deep down in the earth. Sometimes that can get really, can suck you in. And then, of course, we're always looking forward, especially when we're talking about setting intentions and goals and busy times, we're planning. And that can also suck you in. And that's kind of where I've been in this last week, also noticing that planning is my coping mechanism for, or it's actually my escape mechanism for looking at what's happening presently. So we had a Taurus full moon, which is all about being here on earth and enjoying the earthly pleasures, the five senses, beauty around us, sensuality, food, outdoors. So we're going to draw from that inspiration without forgetting about the importance of our past, our lifelines, without forgetting that we need to plan a little, that we need to have intention and vision. this week, we also put some time into not escaping and being right here in the center. Open your eyes 3 times. We reach the arms out wide. Scoop in all of that now and bring it back to the heart center 2 more times. Inhale all the way up. And exhale down through the center. And 1 more. And take a moment here. Maybe set your own intention. And then we're going to reach up again. And bring that right arm down. Bring the left hand behind the back of the head. And almost like you're lifting the base of the skull out of your left neck. Elongate that neck. See if you can draw that elbow further up to the sky. Feel that length through your body even before you start to tip over to the right. You could walk that right hand out and really get a nice long stretch through the right hip, the right waist, the right armpit, the right tricep. Beautiful. Inhale all the way up and then come down with the left arm. Right hand comes behind the back of the neck. Reach up, elongate that neck. Draw that elbow up to the sky, shoulder on the back, and then start to tip over to the left. Beautiful. And then all the way back up to center, release both arms. We're going to take the arms behind us, take a hold of the elbows or the forearms. Note which arm is on top. Roll those shoulders back, expose the heart. So this is not really a back bend, but it is a heart opener. Breathing into the front body. And then we're going to release the arms and walk ourselves forward. While you're here, note which leg is in front. Come up onto the fingertips so that you can actually let the heart fall between the arms and then the head and neck just release. Breathe into the back body. And then come on back to center. We're going to do the same thing, but with the opposite arm on the top. So take the elbows or forearms behind you, roll those shoulders back, widen the collarbones, maybe even a slight tip up with the chin. And breathe into the front body. Beautiful. And then release those arms. I'm going to cross the legs the opposite way now for balance sake, and then walk myself forward and come up onto the fingertips. Let the heart drop, let the head and neck drop. Breathe into the back body. So we're really going to be exploring all sides of the body, front, back, right and left, and always coming back to the center, giving attention to all of them, just as we want to give attention to all dimensions of time, but not forgetting to come back to the center for that integration, for that reset. Come all the way back up. Beautiful. We're going to take the right hand on the left knee, left arm behind us, and roll those shoulders back. Start to twist from the very core. Beautiful. Another plane of motion, just meeting your body where it's at, especially if it's the morning, where you're at, maybe a little stiffer. Inhale, come back to center. Left hand on right knee, right hand behind you. Roll the shoulders back, widen the collarbones. Twist from the very core. So imagine that twist starting right at the very bottom of the spinal cord, right at the bottom of the spine. Being able to trace that spiral staircase all the way up towards the top of the head. And inhale back to center. Beautiful. Let's come over onto hands and knees now. So hands set under the shoulders, knees set under the hips. And we come into 5 cats and cows, inhaling, opening the front body, and exhaling, opening the back body. Starting to bring a little bit more movement into this exploration. And seeing how movement happens from front to back, within your spine, within your ribs, your shoulders, your hips. After one more full round of breath, we're going to come back to neutral. And this time, let's arc our body so you're looking over your right shoulder towards your right hip. Imagining forming a C with your curve sideways, and then over to the other side. So we're kind of wagging our tail. Nice. Contracting on one side while you're stretching out the other. So one more time to each side. And then come to center. This time we're making circles with the hips. So 3 times we're bringing the hips over to the right, back towards the heels, then the left, and back to the center. So we'll do 3 big circles in this direction. Nice. And then 3 big circles in the opposite. Kind of integrating all planes of motion here. And back to center. Beautiful. Come down onto your elbows. Walk the knees back a little bit. You may hold your forearm plank right here. You may curl the toes under and draw those knees up off the earth. Make sure the head, the shoulders, the hips, the heels are all one nice long line. Press into the entire length of your forearms. Draw that belly button up and in. Draw the ribs down towards the pelvis and strengthen up those legs. Hug muscle to bone. Relax the face. Keep the head and neck in line with the rest of the spine. Beautiful. And now 4 times to each side, we're going to draw a rainbow, dipping the hips to the right, up through center, and to the left. Nice. So we do that for 3 more. Keep that core strong, 2 more. And last one to each side. Getting a little twist. Nice. And then release the knees down. Set the hands under the shoulders. Curl the toes under. Draw those hips up and back into a downward facing dog. Imagine some strings at the sit bones, those pointy bones that come right out through your buttock cheeks. And imagine they're being pulled up and back diagonally. So if there's a wall behind you, imagine the anchor for these strings are at the seam between the wall and the ceiling. We're drawing them up and back, up and back, up and back. And then slowly start to walk forward into a forward fold, bending the knees as much as needed and letting the head and neck just drop. Shake the head no, nod it yes. Beautiful. Slowly start to roll all the way up to standing. All four corners of the feet planted into the earth. Palms facing forward, shoulders rolling back and down. Top of the head stretching up towards the sky. Beautiful. Inhale, reach those arms all the way up. And exhale, dive forward. Hands to shins or thighs. Look up halfway, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, look up, lengthen. And fold. And last one. Beautiful. And fold. Set the hands on the floor. Step back to your first straight arm plank. Though you could still come into a forearm plank. And as always, you can come down onto the knees if needed. Press those heels back. Hug the thighs onto the legs. Draw those shoulders down the back. Hug those ribs in. Lower abdomen is awake and alive. Top of the head is being drawn forward while the heels are being drawn back. And here we are, somewhere in the middle. Beautiful. Awesome. Now the knees will drop down onto the earth. And 4 times we'll do our shoulder flow. Exhaling, the hips come back. Inhaling, we draw our nose along the mat. Elbows out to the side, press back up. And again, exhale, back. Nice work. Inhale, forward. And up. 2 more, just flowing through your body. Good. And after this last one, knee all the way down on the floor. And let those legs go. Hands are under the shoulders, hands come off the floor, elbows hug in. We inhale and get that back body awake and alive. Lift the chest off the floor. Keep looking up to the floor. Keep the head and neck in line with the spine. And keep the toes on the floor. Imagine tapping every single toe onto the floor behind you. Tops of the feet, thighs, pubic bone, the bottom of the ribs, the abdomen. Hold it here for 3, 2, 1. Come all the way down. We're going to do that again. This time we're going to wiggle side to side. As we inhale, come all the way up. And then, just like we were doing in our tabletop, we look over the right shoulder towards the right foot, and then over the left towards the left. For 3, for 2, and for 1. Beautiful. Come all the way back down. Curl the toes under and press up and back into downward facing dog. You may come into a puppy pose or a child's pose at any point instead of down dog. This is your reset. And then slowly walk, hop, or jump to the front of the mat. Set those feet nice and firmly and bow. Inhale, come all the way up. Beautiful. Exhale, fold forward and release. Look up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, hands to the earth and step back into your plank again. So this time we're going to get right into it. Walk the feet together. And you could come down onto the elbows for this as well. We're going to roll onto the outer edge of that left foot. Come onto the left arm or left elbow. Now you could stack the feet, you could stagger them, you could even kickstand to help you into this first side plank. I know already. Can you believe it? Your right hand can be on the hip or could be reaching up to the sky. You could be looking up to the sky or down to the floor or to the side. Keep lifting those hips up, up, up. Beautiful. And then release that hand down. Roll over onto the toes. And then come onto the knees. And do 3 shoulder flows to reset. Beautiful. And now we're going to come back into our plank. So either on the forearms or on the hands, we're going to bring those feet together, roll over to the outer edge of that right foot this time, right arm, left hand can be on the hips or way up to the sky. We could be looking down towards that right hand, to the side or all the way up. And remember, those feet can be stacked, they can be staggered, or we could kickstand to help those hips up. And let's hold here, lifting that hip bone up to the sky. Imagine that string drawing you up for 3, 2, 1. Back to center. And let's come all the way down onto the abdomen. Beautiful. Flip the feet over. And this time, arms reach back behind you. Roll the shoulders back. Palms are facing each other. We're going to lift head, chest, and legs. Inhale up. Let's hold it here. So roll the shoulders back. And imagine a string at the top of the head drawing it forward. A string at the toes drawing them back. And both are slightly lifting up. Imagine a long line of beads along your spine from head to tailbone. And we're trying to keep every bead spaced evenly. Going for length, length, length. And come all the way down. Wiggle it out. And we're going to do it again. So inhale, everything comes up. And just like last time, now we're going to do a wiggle. This time we look over the left shoulder towards the left heel, and the left heel even moves to the left. And we come back to center. And over to the right. And back to center. For 3, for 2, oh no, 3, for 2, and 2, and 1 more to each side. And all the way down, nice work. Downward facing dog, puppy, or child's. Nice work. In this down dog, we're going to stretch out the backs of our legs a little, pick up the left foot, and kind of hook those left toes on the right ankle as you draw that right ankle down. Keep lifting those sit bones up and back. And then switch sides. Right toes, hook on that left ankle, and draw it down and back. Nice. And then release. Look up to the front of the mat, step, walk, or hop forward. And fold. Bend the knees nice and deep, toes pointed in the same direction, feet parallel, and lots of weight in the heels. Slowly come up into your first chair pose. Hands at the heart. Get nice and deep through those hips. Draw those ribs in, keep that lower abdomen alive, and hold here. You might close your eyes and notice your balance from right to left, from front to back. And find that place of suspension in the center for 3, 2, 1. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, step that right leg back behind you. Bring the right knee to the earth. Beautiful. We're going to inhale, sweep those arms up, or they could stay at the hips or at the heart or supporting you at your leg, but low lunge. Draw those legs towards each other. Lunge into the future, but keep that back leg anchoring you to the past. And reach those arms up right here, right now. Nice. And now we're going to start to reach forward into that future in ready pose, but that back leg's going to keep us back. If you want, you can even bring that back knee up off the floor. Feel the importance of that back leg rooted. And then, if you'd like, one more time, come all the way up. For 3, 2, 1. Release the hands all the way down. Step back into your plank pose. Beautiful. All right. Sorry about that. Come down onto the knees and then slowly drop down onto your abdomen. Beautiful. Flip the feet over. This time, hands under the shoulders or by the ribs. Hug those elbows in. Keep the tops of the feet on the floor. Keep thighs on the floor. Keep the pubic bone on the floor as you slowly start to inhale and come up into cobra through baby cobra. Maybe you stay there. Maybe you start to press a little more weight into the hands as you open up, but keep that collarbone wide. Keep the heart open, keep the neck long and loose. For 3, 2, 1, all the way down. Beautiful. Curl the toes under, downward facing dog, or any of the recovery poses. Now that right leg's going to come forward, right foot between the hands, back knee on the ground. And we sweep those arms up, or we come up supported into a low lunge. The legs scissor towards each other, and then we lunge into the future while keeping anchored in the past. And our torso and arms are right here in the center. Beautiful. For 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to start reaching towards those goals again. Tilt the body forward on a diagonal. Feel the importance of that back leg rooted behind you. And maybe that left knee can even come up off the ground. Ready pose. Feeling strong here. And now bring it back to the center. Maybe reaching those arms up, maybe not. For 3, 2, 1. Release the fingertips down, step to the front of the mat, and fold. Bend the knees nice and deep. Chair pose. Hands at the heart again. Lots of weight in the heels. All four corners of the feet are grounded, but the toes can lift up off the floor. Maybe set them back down. See if you can see the color of your mat through your toes. Good solid base. We're going to twist. As we exhale, left elbow to the outside edge of that right thigh. Now first, we'll be twisting mostly from the lower body. We start to press the hands together as our heart comes to meet the thumbs. Make sure that left knee is staying back in line with the right. Usually start to creep forward. So lengthen both sides of the body. Twist a little deeper, maybe look up to the sky. And back to center. Reset. Now we exhale, right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. We draw that right hip back. We start to press the hands together as we twist, twist, twist to the left, heart towards the thumbs. Keep those hips low, keep the heart above or at the same level as the hips. And then back to center. Fold. Inhale, come all the way up, stretch it tall. And exhale, fold forward. Beautiful. So you're going to step back with your left leg. And then that left heel will spin to the ground. And you're coming up into a warrior two here. So we can come out of that pose a little. Make sure we have all four corners of both feet rooted, grounded. Then start to bend that right knee. Back leg is nice and strong. Bring those arms out to the side. And 4 times we're going to reach forward and then reach back. So find that angle when it feels like you're reaching forward. Find that part where you're reaching back. 2 more to each direction. Beautiful. And now come to center. So we've got the right arm reaching forward, the left arm reaching back, but everything meeting in the middle. The back leg is anchoring us. The front knee is bending forward, but the pelvis is right in the center, keeping it all together. Gaze to the front, warrior two, Virabhadrasana two. Beautiful. And now the front elbow is going to come to that front thigh. Both sides of the waist are long. Parsvakonasana, side angle pose. Perhaps we bring that left arm up, perhaps over the ear. Maybe the right hand can come to the earth, but I'd like to challenge you to bring it to the outer edge of the right heel, if you can, onto a block or the floor. And remain in the center, remain rooted in the back leg, strong in the front thigh, and open through that chest, strong through the core. Beautiful. Release the hands down, step back to a plank. Nice. With the knees up or down, slowly bend the elbows and come all the way down to the earth. Flip the feet over. Cobra pose. And all the way down. Down dog, puppy, or child. Beautiful. From your down dog or wherever you are, left leg will step forward between the hands. Right heel spins down to the earth and they come all the way up into our warrior two again. We come out of the pose a little, Settle down through all four corners of both feet, and then bend that left knee and anchor it back to that powerful right leg. Arms reach out to the side. And again, 4 times in each direction. We reach forward and then we reach back. Just getting into that waist. Feeling the muscles that need to stretch, the muscles that need to work, to go in either direction. Even it out. And then after that last one, find center. So that front knee's being drawn forward, lots of weight in the front foot, and that right leg is being anchored back. Lots of power there. Left arm is being drawn forward, right arm is being drawn back, and everything meets in the middle. Gaze towards those left fingertips and hold. Now, left elbow comes to the left thigh. Right hand can stay at the hip. It can reach up, can reach over the right ear. Parsvakonasana, side angle. If you'd like to take that left hand to the earth, see if you can do it on the outer edge of the left leg. Keep pressing the left knee into the left arm. Keep spinning that body up. Keep that back leg strong. And then release down. Come onto those back toes, step forward, forward fold. And release. Bend the knees deep. Come up into your chair, hands at the heart. We're going to do another twist here as we exhale. Right elbow to the outer edge of the left thigh. Press those hands together, twist. Maybe the arms open up like wings this time. Inhale back to center. Reset. And left elbow to the outer edge of the right thigh. Twist. Maybe the arms open up like wings. And then back to center. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, fold. Let's do a little forward fold interlude here. Take the hands at the back of the calves and imagine lifting those calves up and away from the ankles. Bring the shoulders on the back. Imagine those sit bones being drawn up towards the sky. Lift those calves up, lift, 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 and then melt the heart forward. And then hands to shins, look up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, hands to the earth, and step back into our plank pose. Side plank, round 2. So, feet come together. Again, you can stack, you can stagger them, you can kickstand, roll onto your left hand, outer edge of the left foot. You can stay here, or this time maybe you want to try something new. Maybe you want to lift that top leg up. Maybe you can even bring it into the inner left thigh. And hold here. Beautiful. And release that hand. Reset with 3 shoulder flows. Beautiful. Ready for side 2. Curl the toes under. Maybe you're off your knees, maybe you're on, maybe you're in your elbows. Roll to the outer edge of that right foot. Stay here, come in kickstand or staggered or stepped. Maybe the top leg lifts up off the bottom. Maybe you can even bring that heel into the inner right thigh and we lift. And then slowly release. Beautiful. And come all the way down to the earth. And shake it out. This time, taking the hands behind you, either palms facing each other. You could hold on to forearms or elbows, or you could interlace the fingers behind the back. Roll the shoulders back wherever you are. We're lifting both our chest and legs off the floor. On our inhale, we lift, and then we hold. Locust Prakshalanbhasana, rolling those shoulders back, lifting those arms off the back as we can. Paying attention to those imaginary strings, drawing our toes back and up, the top of our head forward and up, and a long string of beads that joins the two. For 3, 2, 1, release down. Nice. Reset the hands and come into your down dog or any other variation. Right foot's going to step between the hands. And left knee's going to come down to the earth. We're going to come up into our low lunge and draw those hips forward and down, adjusting that front foot to be right underneath the ankle, right underneath the front knee. While you're here, you're going to inhale, reach that left arm up to the sky. You might stay here. It might feel really nice to get some length in that left side. You might even take that left wrist with the right hand and lean to the right a little. Or maybe with the right hand on the right hip, we start to reach forward, bend the left elbow and come to the outer edge of that right knee, as we did in our chair. Both shoulders on the back. The hands can come to prayer. We press the hands together, bringing the heart closer to the thumbs. And we either stay here or perhaps curl the back toes under and lift that back knee off the ground. Twisted lunge. Beautiful. You might look up to the sky. You might fall out of the pose as you do so. You might even open those arms like wings. And then all the way down, step back. You could flow through a vinyasa or meet us in down dog. Beautiful work. Yoga teachers fall too. This time, left foot steps between the hands, right knee comes down. We come all the way up into our low lunge, draw those legs together, lunge those hips forward. The right arm can come up and stay there, or it could even curve over to the left, getting some length. Perhaps we keep that length as we reach forward, keeping the left hand on the left hip. Maybe we bend that right elbow to the outer edge of the left leg. Maybe we bring the hands to prayer. We start to press those hands towards each other, heart towards the thumbs as we twist to the left. And maybe that back knee comes up off the ground. Maybe the arms open wide like wings. And then we release. Nice work. Step forward, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Reach tall. And exhale, hands to the heart. Nice work. One last standing pose here. So we're going to step back with that left leg, about 2 to 3 feet. The feet are not on a tightrope. The heels are still hip distance apart so that the hips can both be facing forward and they're at the same level. We're going to keep both legs straight, but I always put a tiny little micro bend in that front knee just to keep it safe. Get nice and tall through the spine. Exhale, start to hinge forward at the hips into Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. The hands can stay at the hips. They can come to rest on the leg. They may come all the way to the earth or onto blocks. Breathe into that right hamstring. Get nice and tall. Either keep the left fingertips there, walk them to the outer edge of the right foot, either of those, and then take that right hand to the right sacrum. This may be where you stay. Maybe you get long through the spine and start to twist to the right, and maybe you even reach up. Beautiful. Keep the hips in line. Keep drawing that right hip back. And then come back to center. Bend through that front knee. Come all the way up. And step the legs towards each other. We go to the other side. Step that right leg back 2 to 3 feet. Make sure the hips are facing in the same direction. Those right toes are just slightly pointing out on an angle at about 15 degrees. Hands on the hips, we start to hinge forward, keeping that left hip back. Maybe we stay here. Maybe hands come to the shin. Maybe they come all the way to blocks or the floor. Breathe into that left hamstring, all the way down that left leg, all the way up through the left hip. The right fingertips may stay here with the left hand on the back of the pelvis. The right fingertips may move to the outer edge of that left foot as we start to lengthen and twist, lengthen and twist. Maybe we reach up with that left arm. And then come back to center, bend through the front knee, come all the way up, and step the feet together. Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Look up, halfway lengthen. And plant the hands down, step back into a child's pose. Knees apart, toes together, hips back towards the heels. Let go. Bring those arms out in front of you. Come up onto the fingertips and walk the hands over to the right. Almost reaching further with that left arm than your right. You could even cross that left hand over the right hand. Keep the hips sinking back and down. And then all the way back over to the other side. Reaching out through that right hand further than the left, maybe even crossing over. And then back to the center. Come all the way up and come to seated, legs out in front. This may be where you need a belt or a tea towel or a strap. We're going to hook it around the balls of our feet. You don't need to either. I just like to use it to make sure that my body stays integrated. Shoulders back, hinging right at the hips, keeping the spine as long as possible as I start to draw my heart forward towards my legs. I'm trying to keep my thighs grounded. The entire lower half of my body letting go into the earth as I lengthen up through my spine, out of my pelvis. Head and neck are an extension of the spine. And I can slowly melt deeper and deeper as my body opens up. And come all the way up. Nice. Bend the right knee, cross it over the left thigh. You might keep that left leg straight. You might fold it back behind you if that's in your practice. But if you do so, make sure both sit bones still can plug into the earth. You'll notice that right one might come up off the earth. Better to keep that leg straight and keep both sides of the waist long, both hips grounded. Hug that right knee in with the left arm. Bring the right arm behind you. Get nice and tall. You might hook the left elbow to the outer edge of that right knee as you twist from the bottom up. Inhale back to center, little counter twist to the other side. Bring the right hand to the right ankle. And then back to center. Release through the legs, give them a shake. And then we bend the left knee, cross it over the right leg. You may stay there. You may fold that right leg back behind you. Only if both sit bones can still come to the earth. We hug that left knee in with the right elbow, left arm behind us, get nice and tall, twist to the left. And then inhale back to center, counter twist to the other side, left hand to the left ankle. And back to center, nice. Reach those legs out, give them a shake. Bend the knees, keep the feet together, draw the knees apart to either side. Come up onto your fingertips behind you. You might even pick yourself up and drop those sit bones right back into the earth so they're plugged in like an electrical socket. And then hands to the ankles, getting nice and tall. Maybe you stay here Maybe you start to fold forward, Baddha Konasana. Inhale all the way up. Draw those knees together and slowly start to make your way down onto your back, one vertebra at a time. Let that back body settle into the earth. So bring the feet about mat distance apart. Let the knees fall in towards each other. And tune in to what it feels like to have that back body supported, front body open and receptive. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you bring those knees into the hands and just rock side to side. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you bring the knees closer in. And maybe you want to come into a happy baby pose, feet up to the sky, hands at the shins or ankles, the outside edges of the feet, drawing those knees down towards the outer edges of the body. Finding grounding through the spine. The more that sacrum draws towards the earth, the more length through the spine, the more isolated the stretch becomes through the hips as well. And then slowly let that go. If there's anything else that needs to move through your body before final relaxation, go for it. Listen to that body. And then eventually make your way into your Shavasana, whatever that might be. Come to closing your eyes again. Tapping into the five senses. Of course, there will always be our mental body analyzing and judging. And we won't ever completely get rid of that. But we can notice it, acknowledge, be curious, nod to our patterns. And come back to the moment, come back to observation. Sometimes being in the present moment is actually a little uncomfortable. Sometimes it means you have to deal with the feelings or the thoughts that are happening presently. means you have to look at these patterns. But what would it be like if we didn't escape into the vortex of the past or the sinking hole of the future? But if we didn't escape by keeping everything else busy, and we nodded, acknowledged, expressed, held, accepted, thanked our bodies for trying to communicate. Instead of running or pushing or fighting, perhaps the answer is to acknowledge, to notice, and to still exude love and kindness and compassion. Try it. Next time you find yourself spiraling into any black holes, come to your 5 senses, clear the slate, and then love yourself. Give those parts of yourself the acknowledgement, the hug, the compassion, the support. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. And make sure you thank yourself as well. I see you. Namaste.